It's time for a little comedy, a little content, and a lot of conversation. It's the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube. Now here's your host, Geno Jones.
Hey, what's happening, everybody? I hope you had a great weekend. The Geno Jones Show. I come to you live Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. It's 5:30 in Chicago, maybe 5:32 to be exact, right around there. 3:30 out on the West Coast. Subscribe, share, screen grab, pull a video clip, rip some video from the show, and make it go viral. Create your very own viral moment of the show. Subscribe, share, screen grab, like, and binge watch all my back episodes and tell everybody you know, to paraphrase my man Nelly Cornell Hayes, or Haynes Jr., everybody to subscribe, share, screen grab, like, and binge watch all those back episodes. The Geno Jones Show brought to you by CM Transportation. M like Mary. CM Transportation, www.cmtransportationllc.net. That's cmtransportationllc.net, or call 843-606-2702, 843-606-2702. If your business, if you need dependable, reliable, on-time delivery, if you need a transportation company that is dependable and reliable and on time, or maybe you got a transportation company you use and the drivers, the truckers are like never on time, can't depend on them, can't rely on them, CM Transportation is the company for you. Shout out to Carissa Carter, Carissa, C-O-R-I-S-A. Carissa Carter, the CEO of CM Transportation, black woman-owned business. She has one of the top transportation companies in America. Google it. Google her and her company for yourself. You don't have to take my word for it, but you should. Because one thing I'm not going to do, I'm not going to lie to you. Before I lie to you, I just don't tell you anything at all. That's how we get down. So today is April 15th, tax day, the deadline to file your federal taxes or to file for an extension. Hello. To file for an extension, to file your taxes, which means you have until October 15th. But if you wind up owing, they're going to charge you some interest on that money. But hey, sometimes you just need a little more time. So holla at y'all October 15th. So in the meantime, but for those who don't need an extension, or you got the money to, if you got the money to pay Sam, go on and give him his money, get it out the way. Or maybe Sam owe you some money. So tell him to cut that check. Put it in the mail or direct deposit it to whatever account you got. So it is tax deadline day, tax day here in America, and it is also the day back in 1947. So that would be 74 years ago, Jackie Roosevelt Robinson, who was a superstar athlete at UCLA, University of California, Los Angeles. He played baseball. He was a great football player. And the story goes, his worst sport, the sport that he was the worst at, worst is kind of figure of speech because he was a great athlete and obviously he was a great baseball player, but he was an even better football player, they say, and basketball player. Jackie Roosevelt Robinson broke what they called the color line. He was the first black man to play. Now, there's a story about there was a black dude back in the 20s or 30s, late 20s, early 30s, that was passing. He was really black, but he looked white. But officially, the first black man to play in the major leagues, Jackie Roosevelt Robinson, played for the Brooklyn Dodgers, now the Los Angeles Dodgers, back in 1947. Then about a month later, Larry Doby was the first black man to play in the American League. Jackie Robinson was the first black man to play in the major leagues. The Brooklyn Dodgers were in the National League, and the Dodgers are still in the National League, but they're not in Brooklyn now. They are in Los Angeles. Shout out to Jackie Robinson. Say less. If you don't know who Jackie Robinson is, shame on you. But you need to, as Shaq would say, Google him. Google him. Jackie Roosevelt Robinson made history 74 years ago today, along with today being tax deadline day. Happy birthday today to R&B singer Jacquess, the big 3-0, the big Trey 0, the big 30 today, and happy heavenly birthday. Oh, shout out to actor and comedian, my man Flex Alexander, celebrating a birthday today. And happy heavenly birthday to one of the greatest singers of all time. Definitely one of the greatest blues singers of all time. She also influenced gospel singers. Bessie Smith, born on this day in 1894. She joined the Ancestors. She passed away or joined the Ancestors in 1937. So you don't know about Bessie Smith, Google her. Bessie Smith, one of the greatest blues singers, like I said. One of the greatest singers, but definitely when it comes to one of the blues singers, one of the greatest of all time, and influenced all the other blues singers that you heard, especially woman singers, blues, jazz. She influenced all of them. And if you don't believe me, ask some of them. They'll tell you. Bessie Smith was she was a bad, if you know what I'm saying. So today, April 15, 2024, history was made. The first former United States president to ever be indicted and to sit in his own trial, to sit at his own criminal trial for basically, they call it like so many things it's called, the porn star case, but it is really an election interference trial, because the allegation is that Donald Trump, through his, at the time, attorney, Michael Cohen, paid Stormy Daniels, an adult film star / porn star, $130 basically to keep her mouth shut. This is less than a month before the election in 2016, because Orange Hitler, as we refer to him on this show, Donald Trump, and those around Donald Trump, including at the time his attorney, Michael Cohen, they were afraid if this story got out, that not only did Donald Trump have sex with a porn star, he had sex with a porn star while his wife, Melania, was pregnant with their son. What's the little dude's name? I can't even think of it. Sorry with a B. But anyway, with his son, his youngest that we know about, because there are alleged reports about a love child with some other woman, a porn star. But anyway, so Melania was pregnant with the son she had with Donald Trump, or Orange Hitler. And he's out there sleeping with porn stars. But they paid Stormy Daniels, this adult film star, to basically keep her quiet, because they didn't want that to hurt Orange Hitler's chances of being elected. So that's really what this trial is all about. I'm not going to play attorney on the show, but that's the gist of it. That's the real gist of it. And it started today. They were trying to get to jury selection, but it was like emotions going back and forth. The prosecution wanted to be able to get certain pieces of evidence, like the scandalous piece of audio from the video when he says, you can grab women by the pussy cat, minus the cat. So judge said, no, you can't play that tape, but you can basically get you can get a transcript of what he said, and it can be read out aloud in court. That can be presented as evidence by the prosecution. So they will hear that Donald Trump is recorded on tape saying, when you're a celebrity, you can do anything to women, and they let you. They love it. You can grab them by the pussy cat and get away with it. So I just wanted, for the record, I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge that, because that's history in a bad way, historically. Because with all the scandalous presidents and all the racist presidents, and from Nixon, and we could go on and on and on, and Andrew Jackson, if you want to go back in the day, just really racist presidents, none of them were ever convicted in a criminal case and had to sit and face their own trial, to sit at their own criminal trial. But Orange Hitler had to do that today. And apparently it got to him, so maybe he didn't get enough sleep last night. He was bored with the court proceedings because all the news reports from reporters who got a chance to see the video feed, they couldn't see the jury or potential jurors, but they could see a video feed of Donald Trump, and apparently Orange Hitler didn't have his caffeine, his coffee this morning, because apparently all the reports is that he was nodding out at the table. So let me move on. In closing today, I was scheduled to have a guest. There's an event coming up in July here, but we're going to talk about it later in the week. And my guest has an entertainment company and a demolition company. He's the CEO of the entertainment company, and he has this, like I said, demolition business. So he'll tell you that story and talk about this event, Sip and Smoke event, a Sip and Smoke soiree. It's coming up in like July 21st. But I digress. So in closing, wrapping up my monologue today, let me start off by saying, listen, I love people. I tap into my sense of compassion and empathy and humanity. So in general, I love people. My nature is to do anything I can to help people. People I don't like, it's not in my nature to hurt anyone, unless you attempt to hurt my family or me. But I really snap. You really see the Robert McCall equalizer character in real life if you attempt to harm my family, even before me. But I love people in general because, like I said, I was raised, and in my nature, my DNA is a major makeup of who I am, of me, is compassion and empathy and humanity for anybody. Now, I unapologetically especially love black people, especially even I got love for any person of African descent. But here I have a special love for black people and black people in America, or even black people that immigrated to America, because America specifically has never loved black people. And the world, I could go on, has never really loved people of African descent or black people, like ever. Globally, I could go on and go on. I mean, the slave trade, the transatlantic slave trade, was global. Actually, the majority of slaves, the majority of slaves, the largest numbers of our enslaved ancestors were actually taken to Brazil, even more than America. We had some dropped off in the West Indies, in the Caribbean, in the Bahamas, in Jamaica. Now it's the Dominican Republic, Haiti, who in 1804 got their own independence from France that colonized them. And France made them pay by literally requiring Haiti, the nation of Haiti, to pay them back like billions of dollars, which has greatly contributed to the state that Haiti is in now, along with America, who kind of came in like from 1915 to 1934, who occupied Haiti, and that's a whole nother story. So in general, I love people. I specifically love black people in America because America has never loved black people, period. But what I don't have patience for, specifically, is for black people that engage in anti-blackness that repeat, that use their platforms to repeat and to espouse racist beliefs and thoughts, to repeat racist, what they call tropes or ideas or beliefs or stereotypes about black people. Because when it comes from another black person, from a black face, it's just really insidious. Because somehow you're trying to make the world believe that, yes, all those negative stereotypes that, you know, white nationalists and just those who espouse this racist ideology of white nationalism or white supremacy, and there's nothing supreme about an ideology that's rooted in fear and ignorance and hate. But for another black person to repeat and to have those beliefs of self-hate, because it's really, when you see black people that engage in anti-blackness, that's self-hate in its purest form. But there's something really, really insidious and sinister and disgusting about black people that engage in anti-blackness and repeat the racist thoughts and ideas of racist whites when they do it for money, for profit. That's just a special place in hell. It's got to be reserved for black people who would sell out collectively, sell out their selves, sell out their souls, sell out their families for a few dollars for money. And especially those black people who engage in anti-blackness and to tell you things that would harm you and your family and themselves and their family. Like, don't vote, or, President Biden and the Democrats haven't done anything, Well, and actually, Democrats have done a lot. Like the Civil Rights Act of 1965, the Voting Rights Act, the Civil Rights Act of 1964, the Voting Rights Act of 1965, Fair Housing Act that came later, around 67, 68. I mean, I could go on and on and on. But to tell you to either not vote or to vote for somebody that has no chance, a snowball's chance on the surface of the sun of becoming president, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who's has got the racist MAGA ideology, or a brother who many of us love and respect, ultimate respect for Dr. Cornel West, absolutely have the highest respect and admiration. But I got to question Dr. West, because you're trying to make a point. What are you trying to do? You're trying to, what statement are you making? Because you are a brilliant brother, Dr. West, and you know that you have a chance. A snowball has a better chance of surviving on the surface of the sun than you do becoming president. In this election, you will never win. There's no way, no how, you or Robert F. Kennedy Jr. will win. This election is a binary choice. Binary means two. Bi, B-I, Latin word for two. It's a binary choice. And the choice is really the two people, President Biden and old Hitler, are really symbolic choices, because it's not a choice about a person. It is a choice about freedom or oppression. You are choosing between your freedom and your oppression. Because President Biden is a vote for your freedom, and the freedoms for all people. Freedoms for women who have lost in like 15 states now, have lost their complete freedom when it comes to decide what to do with their body. Their reproductive freedoms and reproductive health to decide when they want to have a child, if they want to be pregnant, or if for whatever reason, they decide not to have a child or not to carry a pregnancy to term, these states now, the state government now has taken control over a woman's body. And some of these same racist, sexist, misogynist men, mostly old white men, just call it what it is, but you've got some black men with that same ideology, not the majority, not the vast majority, but some, a handful, enough, too many, because it shouldn't be any, that believe that women shouldn't have a right to determine what to do with their body, and they shouldn't have a right to determine whether or not that they have a child, whether or not they want to go through with a pregnancy, because men would never tolerate you, women, the government, or God, the God that they claim to say that they worship. They wouldn't even tolerate God if he came down here in the flesh telling them what to do with their body. Men would not tolerate it, especially these sexist, misogynist men. They wouldn't tolerate it. Trust me, I know, because I know enough of those men, and usually those men who are very sexist and misogynistic. Racism and arrogance are all part of their character, the base of their character. It's all a part of the mix of who they are. So let me go back to the black people who engage in anti-blackness and to say the racist things that racist white people will put them up to say. So the racist white people, can kind of hide behind these anti-black faces, black people with black faces, but racist ideologies, who engage in anti-blackness, and the white people to put them up to it. This is saying, don't throw a rock and hide your hand. So you got these racist cowards that'll throw the rock of racism, and then hide their hand and say, oh, well, look, Clarence Thomas, look at what he had to say. Listen, look at Tim Scott. He said, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. What did Clarence Thomas, what did Candace Owens have to say? And I could go on and on to name check some other people. I really could. Because there's levels to this thing. There's levels to this anti-blackness. Yeah, and at the highest levels, you got Clarence Thomas and Tim Scott and Candace Owens. I guess we have to put Kanye in that category now. Yay, unfortunately. But the point I'm trying to make is that, especially when these people who do it for money, when they tell you not to vote because your vote doesn't matter, or they're trying to convince you to vote for a dude who has been open about wanting to oppress you. They called countries that were ruled by black people, be it on the continent of Africa or in the Caribbean, shithole countries. You can Google that. Or when he thinks that black people are so simple-minded and ignorant and have such low self-esteem and so unintelligent and stupid and dumb, because that's what he believes, and people like him, Orange Hitler, believe. They'll vote for you. Just sell them some cheap-ass, bootleg-ass sneakers. Ugly with his initial on it. Because, black folks like sneakers. And then go to a Chick-fil-A in Atlanta and stage it and make it look like you just kind of randomly walked into this Chick-fil-A and there was a whole bunch of black people. There was like 30 some odd black people, and just the goodness and the benevolence of your heart to show black people how much you love them. You brought all the black people in there, some milkshake and a chicken sandwich from Chick-fil-A. When the truth is, every black person that was in that Chick-fil-A, every black person that was in there was somebody that Orange Hitler and or his team handpicked to be in there. How do I know that? Because anytime any person that has secret, especially a former president, that walks into any venue at all to where there's going to be people, they will never knowingly walk into that event and not know who each and every person is in that event or in that venue. They are doubly pre-screened. How do I know that? Because I sat down and had a conversation with President Biden earlier this year, in January. We talked about it on the show. I interviewed him for my radio show, for my radio station. You are doubly screened. They do not one, and if you get close to the president, they're going to do a second background check. They're checking everything. So there was no, Donald Trump just walks into Chick-fil-A and he just loves black folks so much. He wanted to show them how much he loved them by buying them all some chicken, a chicken sandwich and a milkshake. Every black person in there was handpicked way ahead of time because that's exactly how it works. So when black people tell you to vote for somebody who is clearly and openly telling you, as a matter of fact, they're telling you in writing. There's a nearly 1,000-page booklet, manifesto, whatever you want to call it. They're plans. There's like nearly 1,000-page plan that you can download in a PDF form on your computer or your tablet or your phone. Google this, Project 2025. And I've talked about it on this show for well over, probably 7, 8, 9 months now. Going on a year almost. Project 2025. They got the plans in writing, how they plan to oppress black people and people of color and women, and how they plan to, they call militarized local police, to send the U.S. military, U.S. Marines, and U.S. Army soldiers and Army Rangers into cities with large, predominant black populations like Chicago and Detroit and Newark and New York City and Atlanta and Houston and D.C. to put down peaceful protest, i.e., if you are protesting anything about me or against me or my policies, send the U.S. military into police to shoot black people. Now you're saying, Geno, Donald Trump ain't never said that. Okay. Google former U.S. Defense Secretary Mark Esper. Donald Trump tells Mark Esper he wanted to shoot protesters in D.C. when he was in office. Don't take my word for it. There, when the show's over, just Google that. Find out for yourself, because he did. He told his former Defense Secretary Mark Esper, who's told that story publicly, that when in 2020, you have people in D.C., primarily, black people, but there was a significant number of white people, especially younger white people, protesting the murder of George Floyd, peacefully protesting. Donald Trump didn't like it and said, can we just shoot them? Can we shoot them? And Mark Esper said, no, we can't shoot peaceful protesters because they are peacefully protesting. There's something called the First Amendment in the Constitution that you took an oath, Mr. President, to uphold and defend not just this nation, but the Constitution, i.e., you defend the nation, you're defending the Constitution and vice versa. So we have 204 days left until November 5th. Early voting begins before that. Anybody that tells you to vote for anyone who wants to oppress you doesn't love you. Even if they look like you. All skin folk and kinfolk. And any person, any black person that would tell you to support a person or ideology that hates you, you got to really look at them and question them. Why would they support and endorse a person whose main goal and the ideology is about oppressing people that look like you and them? Self-hatred on their part, and greed in a lot of cases. In some cases, it's self-hatred and greed. So, Election Day is in 204 days. Early voting even begins before that. It's a choice. This year's election is a choice between your freedom and your oppression. Pass that on. Thank you for letting me be a part of your life. As always, God bless each and every one of you, and especially you, God, most of all. Thank you for letting me do the Geno Jones Show, brought to you by CM Transportation. If your company needs, or if you have a company and you have a transportation company and they ain't getting the job done, if you need dependable, a reliable transportation company, on time, dependable, reliable, on-time transportation company, CM, like Mary, CM Transportation. It's the company you need. www.CM Transportation LLC. That's CM Transportation LLC.net. 843-606-2702. 843-606-2702. Carissa Carter, the CEO. Markel Bailey, the official barber and hairstylist of the Geno Jones Show, talking about CEOs. He is the CEO of Designer Cuts. Check him out on IG, on Instagram. Kel B Cutting Up, KELBECUTTINUP, Kel B Cutting Up. Allie Jones, the official wardrobe consultant and stylist for the Geno Jones Show. Check Allie Jones and her collection out on IG, on Instagram, LX.NCL_, that little dash at the bottom and at the end of LX.NCL_ on Instagram. The next live edition of the Geno Jones Show is going to be Tuesday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Thank you for watching, everybody. I love you. And we'll see you live. And in the meantime, if you missed any of this episode, go back and binge watch it. And while you are binge watching this one, or finishing up watching it, or maybe watching it for your first time, go back and binge watch all my back episodes. Make it a Geno Jones Show binge watch evening. Make it a Geno Jones Show binge watch night. Pop you some popcorn, get you some cashews, or some potato chips, a healthy snack salad or something, and enjoy the shows. I'll see you live Tuesday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's birthday tomorrow. And Ma and Lawrence. We'll talk about that tomorrow.
Subscribe and tune in to the next episode of The Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube.